Welcome to the story of the miracle. Today we will explore the case together. The macabre spiritual project happened in Kaohsiung, a city located in southern Taiwan. It's famous for its seaport and developed industry. The story begins in the old town, located in the southwest area of Kaohsiung City. It's known not only for its natural beauty, but also because of old values. Ancient Sun is an important cultural area of Kaohsiung. It's a place where many religious beliefs come together, like religion and Buddhism. At the same time, it keeps many traditions. There are many temples here. People often come to pray and bless me. It became a part of their lives. At Ngok Street in Sun Ancient District, there's a family known for its devotion to the gods. The head of the family is Mr. Wu, and his wife is Tai Viet Ken. Both are 56 years old. They have 4 children, 3 daughters and a son. The 28-year-old daughter works in Taipei. My second daughter, May's Pink. She's a nurse at a local hospital. My daughter is suspected to be a college student. And his only son, May's Vian, is over 20 years old, working at a local printer. The horrible thing started happening in the 4th of November 2005. It was a peaceful afternoon. It's become an endless nightmare. At that time, a neighbor who lives near Ngo's house named Sixtrung. I'm watching VI. Suddenly I heard a loud knock on the door. When this neighbor goes out and opens the door, in front of him is a picture of a horse with an emaciated face. I'm sweating like I've just experienced something. It's horrible. The corn man only uttered one sentence: "Call a quick ambulance," then hurriedly left without explaining anything further. The neighbor doesn't understand what's going on, but in the confusion and anxiety, he quickly put on his shirt and shoes and ran straight to the Ngo's house to find out what's going on. The Ngo family house. It's a 3-story townhouse, typical for local architecture. The ground floor is where Mr. Mays' parents live. The second floor belongs to his younger brother's family. And finally, the third floor is where Mr. Korn's family lives. Upon entering the house, Mr. Six Middle, I immediately felt an unusual atmosphere. It all seems to sink in terrifying silence, completely left against the backdrop usually found in a large family. Even though he called many times, no one answered. Not only that, there's a strange smell in the air. He made Six feel uneasy. He even noticed some flies flying around. It's like signaling something bad. Take all the courage. Six decided to go to the 3rd floor, where Mr. Mays' family lives. 3-story house with adjacent townhouse desig, quite popular in the area of Sun Ancient District. But it's got a cold look today. To creepy people. When we get to the 3rd floor, Six found the door to the bedroom closed. He pushed the door in and immediately stopped. His eyes widened with horror. On the floor is the body of the female Wu Jing. The 28-year-old daughter of the Korn family is lying motionless. Her face is pale. His cold body showed no sign of life. The scene in front of him, Six did not utter a word. There's no one else in the small room but the girl. Messy tables and chairs, and on the floor litter strange yellow papers. Just like paper. You see it in spiritual rituals. Panicky Six hurriedly ran out of the house, just walking and shivering. He quickly called an ambulance and waited in the overwhelming fear. An ambulance will arrive at the scene a few minutes later and take the girl to the nearest hospital, about 3 kilometers from the scene. However, when we arrived, the doctors could only confirm that she had died. Preliminary autopsy shows the female's body has many suspicious wounds, including the bruises, and the circular burn marks are very small in diameter. It's like being caused by burning incense. The victim's stomach and esophagus are full of waste. This makes her death even more mysterious. So the hospital immediately reported it to the police, because this is an unusually fatal CA. After receiving the news, Sun Ancient District Police quickly entered the investigation. Autopsy results. Details confirm the cause of death of the victim. It's caused by multiple organ failure due to the length of death was estimated at 9 quarters. 2 days before the body of a woman was discovered. The scene at their family home, Korn, is also full of bizarre details. When the police arrive, they found a red compass at the front door and a yellow sheet of paper full of strange symbols. As you can see from the window, it's also full of notes. On the roof hung a strip of black and white fabric. Now the investigators of the investigation I've started thinking about these scary spiritual movies that they've seen and suspected that the house where the entire family lives, there must have been some mysterious ritual. Next to that on the board, on the 3rd floor, they're hanging black clothes. It makes the whole scene look horrible. When you go inside and you go up to the third floor, a pungent stench poked into the officers' noses. The police looked around. They can see that the walls and the ceiling are dirty by strange substances. Furniture in the house is strewn. There's paper and salt everywhere. On the table in the living room, the statue of the three princes of Nazareth was placed solemnly. Around is the H-juice dispenser, uncle, and other strange items. This is relatively easy to understand for those who are observing to investigate, because many people in the old town believe that three princes who can cast out demons. Protection keep children safe. Even many local temples also worship this god. However, as we continued to investigate the scene, the police officers discovered more details. It's even scarier. On the family's dining table, many chopsticks are available, but it's not for rice. It contains water mixed with notes and even manure. After all this information has been published, the strange death of NGO, female glasses in a mysterious scene, plus her whole family is missing. That made this case one of the events. The most bizarre in Sun Ancient District at that time. Once you have the preliminary information, the investigation team immediately launched the remaining members of the Korn family. And after 3 days of intense searching on April 14th, the police found all 5 members. Their family is in a temple in Tana, 10 kilometers from Sunhang. When taken to the station, on people, all members of the family have bruises and burn scars, similar to that of the female Wijing. But the strange thing is, in subsequent interviews with police, they all claim that the Maze Sutra is still alive, and the dead man is just a demonic entity. Enter your body. During the interrogation, the whole family was terrified and refused to provide any relevant information. When asked if they're threatened by AI, they're just saying that if you reveal the truth, the devil will come to haunt them. The psychological instability of their family, the police corps, suspend the interrogation and decided to try another method to reassure and prevent the family from acting negatively. The security team has brought a special magic weapon. His name is Chained Emperor, a Taoist props made out of peach wood. Picked at noon on Dawn and Geo Day, it is said to be able to cast out evil spirits, and indeed when this magic is launched, the family seems calm, again in an extraordinary way. They just started telling the whole story. There's been a terrifying and haunting story. It started 2 months ago. That was in February 2005, when the U.S., the 22-year-old daughter of the family, back home in Kaohsiung for winter break, after a long time studying and working in the city. At first everything seemed normal. But soon, you start going through episodes, strange nightmares at night, the dreams that startled her awake, body full of sweat, and always leave you feeling panicked. Can't explain. During the day, American Korn often complains of constant loss of sleep, and the spirit becomes uncertain. Abnormal manifestations of the daughter has made the Korn family extremely worried. After several days, the situation they decided to go to a familiar relative, understand folk customs to ask for opinions. This person later advised the Korn should take America to a small temple in Namsun District, Kaohsiung City, to perform the soul gathering ceremony. This is a common practice in local beliefs in order to call the soul back to the body. This is usually done when people believe the soul of that Aya is lost after a shock or scary event. The soul gathering ceremony is done quickly and strangely. The symptoms of the disease seem to be diminishing. You don't have as many headaches as and before. It seems that sleep has improved. However, her anxiety still doesn't completely go away. American Korn is often sitting still. Her eyes were as if thinking about something. One day she suddenly told her parents that, "I have a very uneasy feeling myself. Something big and horrible is about to happen." In particular, she recounted a dream in which she had met God, three princes, a god in Taiwanese folklore. In a dream, "I have told you that the eldest sister of the I have to go home before the end of the month. Otherwise, your sister's life is in danger." These are the words of the America. It has stunned your whole family. Her parents are extremely superstitious people. I believe in the gods, especially the three princes. They remember an event from a few years ago when a family goes to a temple to pray for blessings. At that time a priest, I warned them that there was something wrong with their house and advised them to leave the idol of the three princes to another location to neutralize the Korn grandparents who did it. But now they believe that this may have made the Buddha's heart bewildered. They immediately brought the three princes back to their original position and start praying every day. Then grandparents quickly contact the children who living and working in the city. Kaohsiung asked everyone to return home immediately. It doesn't stop there. My wife went to Taipei to pick me up. The couple's 28-year-old daughter I was working as a manager for a small restaurant when my mother suddenly came to visit. Corn glass female feels surprised, but also the anxiety in her eyes. After a conversation, she told me everything that happened to her sister. My dream is to meet the three princes. Hearing this, the female glass corn can't help but from a young age she was raised in the environment. It's full of beliefs, folk, and worship the gods. Your faith in God is strong. At home in Taipei, she also set up an altar. So before my mother's retelling, you dare not despise. After a moment of hesitation, the girl decided to listen to her mother. Leave work at the restaurant to go home. Avoid the unfortunate. When you and your mom get home, the whole family was overjoyed. Her father even prepared a lavish banquet table. Prepare to welcome your daughter. All returned safely. But the happy atmosphere didn't last long. The prophecy of the three princes continued to haunt the Corn family. Right back in the evening, Corn glass female has encountered a terrible nightmare. In a dream, you find yourself with a strange face attack and murder. When you wake up, she shivered, sweat soaked her shirt and couldn't stop crying. The feeling of pain, the dream remains in the body, and you can't shake this haunting horror. Her mother Thai Vietnamese can. When you hear a noise from the next room, they rush too. The girl was so scared she couldn't speak. She just hugs you and comforts you. That night, both of you kneel before the altar of the three princes. I pray for protection. However, the fear in the female glass corn is still unabated. From that day, nightmares continue to haunt the Maze Sutras every night. It makes you afraid and unable to sleep. She's slowly becoming apathetic, sensitive and easily panicked. Even the small noise in the house is enough to make stunned. Not only that, women are starting to have strange behaviors. Bite your hands or hit your feet. This made the whole family. The corn gradually fell into the heavy air. The girl's condition is getting worse. Grandpa Corn decided to take her to the temple in Kaohsiung District, where previously the American Maze daughter performed the soul gathering ceremony. They hope this time, rituals can help women get out of trouble. Obsession is hanging out. It was after the soul gathering ceremony. The woman's condition seems to have slightly improved. You seem calmer, and even shared the intention to return to Taipei to continue the management of his restaurant. Your parents are still worried. I was also somewhat relieved to see the girl has recovered. They hope that the days are haunting. It will end here. But only a few days later, it's a horrible event that suddenly happens to break their short peace. 2/3 of women get a strange phone call. No one in the family knows who's called AI, as well as the content of the conversation. But the weird thing is, right after hanging up, the behavior of the female Wu Jing completely changed. She suddenly fell into a state that looked like she was in a trance. In the delirium, she claims that she is the bodhisattva of that form, to save humanity from the scourge. This is a state that's often popularized. It's called entering. It's a phenomenon that people believe the spirit enters the body to convey the sacred message. But what happened after that? It's completely beyond expectations of their entire family. Corn goggles female starts dancing foot machine hand held her eyes gesture. Flashed ineffable hysteria. She laughed endlessly, and speak to your family in a powerful voice. I am the Bodhisattva temple, I look like this, to help you avoid disaster. Tai Vietcan is standing nearby. I was horrified by the sight in front of me. She tried to get closer to comfort her daughter. But I can't touch you. Corn glass female suddenly used her own sharp nails to scratch my flesh, leaving long streaks of bleeding on the arm. It didn't stop there. She crashed against the wall, banging his head against the table and chair frantically. Loud noise. Both his parents and his younger brother's family startled to argue, but they're also powerless in front of your uncontrollable power to stop you from harming yourself. The whole family had to hold together. The girl and tied her up with a rope. Look at the girl who's crazy. Body full of bruises and scraping. Mr. Wu. Dance moves and Thai Vietnam can like broken every gut. The pain and confusion on their faces. They can't believe that. This is a sign of the gods. I am sure that my daughter has been possessed by the devil. That night, the entire family knelt before the ancestral altar, praying all night. Let God help you. But the vows don't seem to work. By the next morning, corn glass female remains in a state of paranoia crazy and madness. Too worried, the parents decided to keep bringing their daughter to the temple in Namso. Last time I did a soul gathering, but this time the magic didn't work. The condition of the woman is not only decreased but become more serious. Rumors about the corn kernels are as fast land throughout the area. The neighbors, I'm scared, but I can't hold back my curiosity. They gathered outside the house to observe and talk about 2 days after the Korn family decided to seek help from a more sacred place, they took all 3 of their daughters to the convent, Paint in Dongfan-to, Tan Bamboo District. It's known for its strong spiritual energy. The whole family hoped that the meditation environment here can help dispelling the evil are haunting May's business womb. The meditation process lasted for a month, and while you're starting to engage in meditation, Mr. Mays and Mrs. Tsai are still sitting still. They heard someone in the studio. It's about a famous French period. Yin and Yang and have the ability to invite the exorcism is very difficult to invite. But at all costs, Tsai asked for help and paid a large sum of money to take him home. When the shaman had just entered the Wu gate, he suddenly stopped. The face was clearly restless. He took a few steps back. Shake your head repeatedly and say seriously, "This is a dung house. The air is thick. The devil who stays here for a long time will find something bad." The shaman's words made the Wu family and the neighbors standing outside, not from panic. At first I refused to go into the house, but before the Korn's urgent plea, Granny is reluctant to accept help. The doctor explained that this house has bad feng shui, is in a pulse-exposed position that causes negative energy to accumulate. He said that moving the idol 3 princes before he made the gods leave, let the devil get in. His words made the NGO family cling to straw in the flood water. According to your instructions, they don't regret buying the necessary items from your paper, exorcism charms to the feast of reader. The whole family is pinning their hopes on the upcoming exorcism. I hope peace will be restored. But they never suspected what lies ahead is even more terrifying. The exorcism lasted for days, creates an eerie and heavy atmosphere. It covers the whole house, each thick incense smoke rising from the altar land throughout the corners of the room, as if wanting to get rid of everything or hiding in the dark. The shaman kept moving slowly in a strange way, every step as if calculated meticulously. He just muttered a mantra, deep voice, echoing like whispers from far away. Just made impressions with thin hands. When the ceremony is over, the family is a little burdened, suppressed in the heart all the time. The Korn grandparents breathed a sigh of relief. Believe that evil has been repulsed. 3 of their daughters. He is still meditating at the 5-Pointed Sun Monastery. I don't know about new developments in the house. The days after that, the house returned to a rare peace. It gives hope that the disaster is over. However, that peace didn't last long in the end. 1 month later, the family's 3 daughters were allowed to return home. May's business girl, the oldest daughter at the time, seemed to have fully recovered. The whole family was overjoyed and believed that the dark days seemed to have receded. But on a fateful night, everything suddenly changed in a direction no one expected. After just one night, 3 daughters began to have unusual expressions, say strange things, and claim to have returned to the gods. All of their families have fallen into a state of periodic Mr. Wu danced the father, calling himself the Great Jewel Emperor. Tai Vietcan, the mother, claims to be a princess. My Hong Korn, the second daughter, identified herself as 7 fairies, while the Mays businesswoman claims, "I am the reborn Bodhisattva." The American daughter is suspected of being 3 crown princes, and his brother Mays Vian became a servant. The house quickly turned into a chaotic stage. They started fighting and doing strange things. Fuck grandparents' Korn plastered paper uncle all over the walls, doors, and even the floor. American pink corn and American corn began to build complex battles mixed with household items. Raw corn with incense, lit incense, and danced to the strange dance, mouth murmuring unintelligible mantras. This scene makes relatives living in the house with them extreme fear. Both his parents and brother Kor. He took all the courage. He went up to the 3rd floor to stop his family. But it's all in Vi. Mr. Korn's family didn't just calm down. It's crazy when you see people go into their territory and go crazy. Attack. So in a panic, both his parents and his younger brothers, everyone is in a hurry to move, go to the hotel to escape. Neighbors around, initially curious, follow, but gradually stay away and keep your distance from this cursed house. The mysterious stories about the NGO Lam family spread throughout the region. It makes people afraid to come close. Time goes by. Copper entry state is happening more and more often. Originally 1 person, then to be Then the whole family goes into a frenzy. They believe that the gods had entered their bodies to cast out the devil, but they're also starting to suspect each other. It's assumed that some of the members were surrounded by evil spirits. The first woman, believed to be haunted, become the main target. She was attacked by other family members. Torture without mercy. They burned her with incense. Sprinkle glutinous rice and salt on you so that every time you scream, the more they believe the spirit is being pushed out and constantly torturing her. More cruel. Female glass corn was exhausted but still silently
To completely
endured.
purify the spirit, the family began to refuse to eat. The food has been contaminated by the devil. Only the water is clean. To purify from the inside out, they put waste on people and feed each other waste, with the thought that the devil will outpour unclean things and leave their bodies. This crazy behavior lasted for a week, pushing their entire family into exhaustion. By the evening of April 9th, the chaos had come to a sudden stop. But the price to pay for the end, that's the life of a woman. Big daughter, who had suffered 2 months of brutal torture by the most loved ones themselves. The rest of the members are not before your death. On the contrary, they seem to lift the burden. They believe that the devil is finally destroyed. No one thinks you're really dead. They just believe that your sacrifice is necessary for salvation. The whole family out of evil. The first person to discover Maze when she died was Maze. The second sister in the family is a nurse. When I see your immobile body, your professional instincts made implementation of first aid measures, but only after a few minutes. The rose suddenly stopped. My eyes turned from panic to a bizarre trust. She told herself that the Maze Sutra didn't die. It's just coming out, a state in which the soul leaves the body to do some kind of mission in the spirit world. 2 days passed, and Go's family gradually escaped from the state of importation. The sound of mantras, these crazy gestures, and the sultry atmosphere in the house finally settling down. However, when they regain consciousness, they begin to realize that something is wrong. The woman is still lying there with no sign of recovery. This time the fear really crept in. Every corner of the family. Father of Wu Jingwom, he rushed out to the neighbor for help. Mr. Sixstrong, the only person who can stay close to the house right now. He then pleaded for an ambulance. It's worth noting that before the ambulance arrived, -1 members of the Korn family quickly left their house. And finally, when she was taken to the hospital, the medical staff can only confirm that you've passed away before. After the death of a woman, this bizarre case is just beginning to come to light. The police immediately entered the investigation. Invite a psychiatrist. Come to check the mental state of 5 members of the Wu family. Surprisingly, the test results showed none of them suffer any kind of mental illness. Psychologist Tang Dongwei, directly participating in the evaluation, that the family may have had the syndrome. Collective paranoia. It's a rare but dangerous phenomenon. When a group of people live together, share false beliefs, and try each other, it's easy to get caught up in the wilderness. They lose the ability to distinguish between real and According virtual. To him, this made their family. Maze falls into the cycle of irrational behavior, leading to catastrophic consequences. It's a rare disease. It is often difficult to detect. I didn't realize I had a problem. But when it does, the consequences can be very serious, but not either. Believe in the explanations of psychologists. Looking back at the whole event, they find the cause and the effect bizarre. This is starting to cause a lot of controversy in the community. Outside of the theory of collective paranoia, from the experts, there are other ideas. Some people think that the story of the devil, it's just the way the NGO they are built family to escape responsibility. The wounds on the body of Maze Heim, with her mysterious death, makes a lot of people ask questions whether this was a deliberate assault. It's covered in superstitious drama. But this is still just a theory, and the police, nor did I find any evidence what to prove for. The whole Korn family was Maze businesswoman to death, in a state of wakefulness. Another theory revolves around their families. Maze may have been attracted to a mysterious cult. Many people remember this family had been to an unknown temple to ask the shaman to perform an exorcism, but they didn't reveal the identity of the shaman or where that temple is. There is an opinion that the superstitious thoughts that led into the minds of the Wu family from this cult, that led to tragedy. Though, many people believe in their own family, that they were actually possessed by evil spirits, crazy actions, the haunting enlistment battles, and also the death of Wu Jing. They are all evidence for the presence of a supernatural force that the shamans can't resist. After the procuratorate prosecution of 5 members of the Wu manslaughter by superstition ritual, the family denies all allegations. Confirmed is that they're completely unaware of their actions when things happen. Finally, the prosecution decided not to take the case to court. There is not enough evidence to convict. Towards neighbors and relatives, the obsession with the case is still lingering. For fear of their families will continue to fall into a state of everyone integration. Forgot to raise money to invite another shaman. Exorcism and super spirit for Maze Sutra's girls. After the ceremony, life on Ngokmin Street is gradually returning to normal. The family also recovered back to everyday life, but the atmosphere of the house forever dyed a dark color. Time goes by. The story of the family is forgotten, but for those who have seen it, The tragedy is still a wound that is hard to heal.
A question that has no answer.
About the line between superstition and reality.
Between reason and paranoia. Between life and the supernatural darkness.
A family that loves each
suddenly
other
became the cause.
It leads to death.
Carpets of relatives.
All because of blind faith
into the occult.
It's not just balls.
The drama of an individual or
it's
a
wake-up
wake-up call for an entire community. This story reminds us that in life, faith is necessary, but blind faith, it's not based on understanding and reason. It can lead to unintended consequences. That's why everyone needs to be equipped. Give yourself knowledge and sanity to distinguish between right and wrong, between reality and paranoia. In the end, the nation won. I wish you and all of you well and success. Thank you for watching the video. If you see or give me a like and valuable contributions in the comments section.